Welcome to home practice. This seed is called gradients of thickness. Hi everyone, my name is Christian. I'm a white male standing dancer. I'm really tall and I smile a lot. For those of you it might be useful for, I'm just going to give you a tour of the space I'm in. So the blinds are down, we have some plants and some nice framed art and photos and a little blanket on the side. This seed is split up into 3 sections. In section number 1, I'm going to introduce a scale to you, and it's a scale that we're going to use throughout the whole section, and we're going to look at how we can apply the thickness to our body. Then the second part of the session, we're going to look at a sequence of movement, and we're going to apply the scale to the sequence as a whole. And then the third and final section of this seed, we're going to look at a bit more complex sequence of movement, and we're going to apply the scale to each movement individually. Okay, so that's the outline of the session. Now, let's look at the scale. So I find that with scales that go from 1 to 10, there's a really hard part to gauge between 2 and 9. Sometimes you end up jumping really high up the scale without realizing, or jumping down the scale, and sometimes it can be quite confusing. So because of this, I would like to propose a scale of 1 to 4, just so that we can really find each level on the scale clearly in the body. And to do this, I would like us to look at a physical example. So I'm going to use my hand for this. You may wish to use your foot or any other limb that suits you. Basically, just find a version that suits you and that helps you to kind of illustrate this in your body. So for my example, I'm going to support my other arm with my hand holding my elbow, and I'm going to let my hand lay as it is with the direction of the palm to the ceiling. So this is 1. I've given direction to the hand, and it's as if the bones are swimming in the air, really minimum tension. 2, we're going to apply a form to the hand. It's like an outline. Then 3, we bring a muscularity to the form. Then moving on to 4, you bring the maximum amount of thickness that you possibly can to the hand, and then you're going to release just a little bit. Now, the reason I say to release a little bit is because if you were giving the absolute maximum amount of thickness, in theory, you wouldn't actually be able to move. So we release it a little bit so that you've still got the maximum amount of thickness that you can have whilst the ability to maintain a flow. So that's the scale from 1 to 4. Let's now go down from 4 to 1 just so we can have a little recap of all of those. So 4, maximum, and release a little bit. To 3, muscular form. To 2, we form. And 1, the direction of the palm up to the ceiling, bones swimming in the air. Nice, everyone. If you wish to pause here and have a go on your other side maybe, absolutely feel free. Otherwise, we're going to explore the minimum and the maximum on our scale using a technique of improvisation. So, to begin, let's have some music, and I'm going to start with the minimum point on our scale. So we're going to look at 1. So I would like you to find edgeless movement. So you're giving your body direction in space, but you're not necessarily forming it yet. There's a very minimal level of thickness here. Again, it's like your bones are swimming in the air. This image is really nice for me. And let's just take this opportunity just to tune in to the body and really discover and identify what one is for your physicality. Let's also be mindful of how one is when we're weight bearing. So it may be very different in the lower half of your body if you're standing, or in your hands if you're using them on your chair to shift you in space. So let's be super mindful of this and how one is in the whole of our bodies. Now from this space, let's increase to a 4. So you're now bringing the maximum amount of thickness that you can to your body whilst being able to keep a flow going. So remember, we don't want to go so much that we can't even move. We want to go really far into our thickness, but we maintain the flow in the body. Hopefully you'll be able to notice a really clear difference in the thickness between 1 and 4. Something to notice as well while you're moving, just be aware of when you start to get tired. This is a lot more effort than 1. You're really kind of pushing your physicality here and the thickness in your body. As much as we can, we don't forget to breathe. We try and find our inhales and exhales just to help us through the effort. And then counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just very gently letting the thickness come out of your body and finding a still place of rest. Nice work, everyone. Let's have a little shake. That's quite a lot of effort there. As you can hear, I'm really out of breath after doing that. And so it's really good to recognize the effort that you've just put in to reach a 4. It's very different to 1. And something that is really useful to know is that your scale is absolutely related to you. It's totally individual. So my scale is probably very different to yours, and that's great because then you can learn to apply it to yourself and to do what you need. Also, the level of thickness that you can apply will change on a day-to-day basis, an hourly basis, probably even within this session it's going to change. But a 4 is still a 4. Even if you're a bit more tired, but you're still putting the maximum effort in, because it's still the maximum that you can put in at that moment in time. So throughout, we just stay super mindful of this, so then we can start to get really aware of the body. I would now like us to look at the middle parts of the scale. So we have 2 and 3. Little reminder, 2 is when you form the body, and 3 is when you bring muscularity to the form. I'm going to teach you a very short sequence, it's only 4 movements, and then we're going to apply these two levels of the scale to this sequence. That's a little learning tip. Learn as you see it. I'm not going to use left and right. And do whatever you need to do to adapt the movement and bring it into your body. Anything you need to change or translate is more than okay. So let's just quickly learn this together. So using your first side, the fingertips come up and over. With the other side reaching forwards, opening your space. Fingertips then lead to the corner and then you're going to pull back with your elbow. That's it. It's just that. So let's do a couple more times together. Over the top with your fingertips, reaching forwards, opening out with the other side. The same fingertips reach to the corner and you pull back with the elbow. Great, everyone. One more time for good measure. On your first side, up and over, reaching forwards, opening out, fingertips reach to the diagonal and pulling back with the elbow. Great, everyone. Super nice. So that's the sequence. We're now going to apply 2 on our scale to it. And we're going to do 2 times. And here we go. Over, opening, diagonal, elbow. Nice. And again. Over, opening, fingertips, elbow. One more time. Over the top. Opening, fingertips, elbow. Nice, everyone. That's 2. Let's do it at a 3. Here we go. Over, opening, fingertips, elbow. Awesome. 2 more times. Over the top, opening, fingertips, elbow. Last time. Over the top, opening, fingertips, elbow. Great stuff. So now what we're going to do, just so we can find a direct comparison between the 2 of them, we're going to do the sequence 4 times in total. First time at 2, second time at 3, third time at 2, and then the 4th time at 3. So we're going to alternate between. Let's try it together. Remember, the first time is at 2. And over, opening, fingertips, elbow, straight into 3. Over, opening, fingertips, elbow, and again at 2. Over, opening, fingertips, elbow. Last time at 3. Over, opening, fingertips, elbow. Nice, everyone. So hopefully this part of the session, of this seed, has given you an opportunity to find each level of the scale in your body, and hopefully you've been able to put this into practice with the examples. For now, just have a little shake, have a little drink, and then join me again for section 2. This section is called application. And I'm going to teach you a sequence of movement that we're then going to apply the scale to as a whole. Just a reminder for learning tips, learn it as you see it, no left and right, feel free to adapt in whatever way that you wish. So let's learn it together. Starting with your first side, rolling the shoulder, rolling the other shoulder, reaching to your back diagonal with your fingertips, bring the fingertips in front of the body, threading the others underneath. Let's go back a few times. Roll one shoulder, roll the other, reaching back with the fingertips, bringing them round to the front of the body, threading underneath. Awesome. One more time. Roll the shoulder, roll the other one, reaching back, the fingertips lead to the front, threading underneath, opening and spiraling to the side. Lowering down to center, spiraling to the other side, then coming back to center. Nice, let's do that. And shoulder, shoulder, reaching your fingertips, leading them round to the front, threading underneath, spiraling the spine, bring to center, spiraling to the other side, bring back to center again. Awesome. Next bit, pulling back with your shoulder, reaching with your fingertips, and you pull with your fingertips and bring your whole body back to center. If you're seated, you may just wish to do this on the spot, reaching with the fingertips, pulling with the fingertips back to center. If you're working with your chair, you may wish to use this opportunity to take one side to your wheel, to open, reach with your other fingertips, and then pulling back, still using that same side to bring you back to center. One more time from the top. And shoulder, shoulder, reaching with the fingertips, reaching around to the front, threading underneath, spiraling the spine. Coming down and spiraling to the other side, coming down back to center. Pulling back with the one side, reaching with your fingertips, pulling with the fingertips, coming back to center. Next bit, one arm circles, the other arm circles. You're going to find a V position, magnets on the back of your palms, bring them together. From here, you're going to spiral out your hands, send your knees and chest through the gap. I'm just going to flip this to the side so you can see. Magnets on the back of your hands, spiraling them open, sending your knees, sending your chest. Nice wide position. Awesome, everyone. From the top, up to there. And shoulder, shoulder. Reaching fingertips, fingertips to the front, threading underneath, opening to spiral. Coming down, spiraling to the other side, going back to center. Pulling back, one side, reaching, pulling with your fingertips, coming back to center. Over the top with one arm, over the top with the other. Find your V, magnets back of palms, rotating the palms outwards, sending knees, chest, opening. Super nice. Next bit, fingertips are going to come together on your side diagonal. They're then going to spiral, reach, opening the chest. Then you're going to pull with the elbows, bring you back to center again. If you're seated, again, you may just wish to use rotations in the torso. So you find this part and opening. Again, if you're working with your chair, you may wish to find this point. Take your wheels to your chair to find your dano, reaching your fingertips, pulling with the elbows, refining your wheels, and coming back to center. Let's do all of that from the top. And shoulder, shoulder. Fingertips, fingertips to the front, threading underneath, spiraling, coming down, spiraling other side, coming back to center, pulling back, reaching the fingertips, pulling the fingertips, they come back in. Circle one side, circle the other, find your V, magnets back of palms, opening the palms, send knees, send chest, fingertips together, spiraling, open the chest, send the fingertips, pull the elbows, back to center. Last little section of this phrase. One up, goes over the top, followed by the other one. First side turns in, other side turns out. This side turns in, that side turns out. Above the head, circling, making space in your center, reaching to your diagonal, pulling back with the shoulder, elbow, hand to center. That's the whole phrase, but we're just going to go over that last bit, a little bit complex, so we're going to go over it again a few times. First side. Arm, arm. Turn in, turn out, turn in, turn out. Circling above the head, make space in your center, reaching to the diagonal, pulling back shoulder, elbow, hand, center. Last time, just that bit. Again, over the top, turn in, turn out, turn in, turn out. Circling above the head, through your center, reaching to the corner, and pulling back to end. Super nice, everyone. Let's do from the top a couple of times. And shoulder, shoulder. Reaching fingertips, fingertips to the front, threading underneath, opening out to center, open out to center, pulling back, reach, pull in, center, over, over, V, magnets, opening your palms, send your knees, send your chest, fingertips together, spiraling, open chest, open palms, pulling elbows in. First side, second side, first side in, second side out, reverse, circling around through your center, reach, shoulder, elbow, hand. Super nice. One more time. And shoulder, shoulder. Reaching back, fingertips to the front, threading underneath. Spiral down, pulling back, reaching, pulling in to center. Circle, circle, V, together, open everything out. Fingertips together, spiraling and reach, elbows in. One side, second side, turn in, turn out, turn in, turn out. Circle above the head, through your center to reach, shoulder, elbow, hand. Super nice, everyone. Hopefully you've got that. If you need to pause and practice, absolutely great, then join us for the next bit. So how we're going to do this, we're going to apply the levels of the scale chronologically this time, so we're going to do it in order. We're going to do the sequence 4 times total, the first time at 1, the second time at 2, third time at 3, and then the last time at 4. So we're moving up the scale. So hopefully it's going to be really clear. So just to clarify, we are applying the scale to the sequence as a whole, for a total of 4 times, moving up from 1, 2, 3, and then 4 to finish. Okay, everyone, let's go with music. First time at 1, and next time at 2, and and 3. Here we go. Last time at 4, and everyone, have a shake. Oh, just relax the body. Quite a lot of effort there as we move up the scale. Again, you can see I'm really out of breath, so it's really good to notice how you change your body as you move up the scale. Nice, so next part, what we're going to do is move a bit more sporadically through the scale. Personally, sometimes my body likes to know where it's going already, so then I already start to almost use my muscle memory to predict where I'm going next, and also my movement memory as well. So for this reason, we're going to start with the sequence again, but the first time we're going to do it at a 3. And then I'm not going to tell you the next level on the scale until we've finished the first round of the sequence. Again, we're going to do the sequence 4 times in total, but the only information we know so far is we're going to start at 3. I'm going to give you the level of the scale to do the next round of the sequence at the end of the round. So then your body doesn't already rely on its movement memory, so that you have to surprise your body and adapt instantly. So we're really going for a new take on it. So again, let's go with music 4 times, starting with 3 on our scale for the first round. Okay, here we go. And now 1, and to 4. Here we go. Lastly, 2. Here we go. Nice work, everyone. Again, let's have a little shake out. A breather. Again, quite challenging work to change between the scale when you don't know what's coming next, actually. So it's really good to surprise the body. Just a little story I'd like to share with you is that when I was a bit of a younger dancer, I used to really work at 3 and 4 pretty much all the time. So I was always kind of in this place of massive effort. So something that this scale has been really useful for me is actually finding the places where I can decrease the thickness in my movement and also allow the qualities to really come through by really developing the use of thickness and changing the level on the scale is something that I really like to continually work on. And I hope that you find this session interesting and useful so that you can do the same. So let's have a little breather, have a drink, and then we'll come back for the third and final part of this seed. So we've reached the third and final part of this seed. And in this section, we're going to look at, it's a little bit more of a complex sequence of movement. And we're going to look at how we can apply the scale to each individual movement in this sequence, which may sound super overwhelming, but don't worry, I have a little trick. So how I would like us to do this is that rather than having the movement and the level on the scale separately, I would like us to combine them so that when we learn it together so we can directly relate the movement to the level on the scale. Hopefully this will help our movement memory and kind of how we retain the material in our bodies. Just to say as well that I'm going to split the teaching of this sequence in half, so we can do one half and then the other, just because it's a little bit longer than the other sequence that we have done in this session so far. When I've taught you material and when we're starting to go from the top through a longer series of movements, I'm going to just say the number on the scale of the movement rather than me chatting loads while we're going through from the top, just to make it a bit clearer and a bit easier to follow for you guys. Okay, let's begin with part one of this sequence. On a 3, your body's going to ripple on the spot and you're going to shift your weight forward and ripple, coming back up to center. Let's do one more time. On a 3, ripple, shifting ripple, to center. Nice. Next movement. Reaching up on a 1. Pulling down twice on a 4. Awesome. From the top. 3. 1. 4. Nice. Next movement. Reaching across on a 2. Sending this movement around, staying with a 2 and coming back to center. Versions of this. Reaching across on a 2 and then sending the movement round in a chest if you're seated, or if you're working with your chair and you wish to find the turn, reaching across to the side on a 2, using this movement, staying with a 2 to come down to your wheels and using it to find your turn, coming back to center. Awesome. From the top. 3, ripple, 1, 4, 2. Super nice, everyone. From here, a head roll on a 4 to here. Pulling back with your elbow on a 1, reaching forwards on a 3, pushing the space back on a 2, shifting it forwards on a 4. It's quite a lot of movements, so let's go back. From the top, you've done 3, 1, 4, 2, 4. This is our new bit. 1, 3, 2, 4. Let's just do from the elbow. 1, 3, 2, 4. If you're seated, you may wish to find lots of twists in your torso at this moment. So for example, you may twist your torso here, reaching, pulling back, pushing forwards, so we stay super animated in our ribs, and our back, and our chest. Nice, everyone. From here, make a fist on a 1. Drop it on a 3. Make space for 2. On a 2. Nice. From here, 1, 3, 2. One more time. 1, 3, 2. Last movement of this section, reaching back on a 4. Reaching back to the front, also on a 4. Nice. You've made space on a 2. 4, 4. Nice, everyone. Let's just find this from the elbow pulling back together. And 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. Super nice, everyone. Let's go from the top a couple of times. And 3. 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4. Nice. One more time. And 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4. Really nice, everyone. So if you have room for more and you feel like you have the sequence, if you're standing, you may wish to start to play with the transferences of weight. If you're in your chair, you may wish to do the same thing, or you also may wish to take your focus away from the screen to really challenge your movement memory. So now we're going to do part 1 of the sequence that we've just learned with music one time. Here we go. And 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. Nice, everyone. And just have a little shake, have a rest. And now, let's move on to the learning of part 2 of our sequence. So, to begin, it's like a double hug miss on a 1. Let's do it again. Nice. Last time, 1. Reaching the arm on 2. Scooping on a 3 to thread. Again. 1, 2, 3. Opening out on a 4. Coming in on a 1. Nice, everyone. Let's do it again. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Awesome. From here, you've used 1 to come back in. You're going to shift back on a 2. Nice. If you're seated, you may wish to work with your shoulders here. If you're working with your chair, you may wish to use this opportunity to take your hands to your wheels and to use them to shift you back in space. Let's go from the top of this section. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Nice, everyone, really nice. The next bit, threading with your other side on a 3. Reaching out on a 2, keeping a 2 as you find a turn, reaching to the corner. Translations of this movement. If you're seated, you may wish to find your thread on a 3 and then really take your time to reach the hand to the corner. If you're seated, maybe you can find your thread, use your hands to your wheels to come round, and then when you arrive, reach the hand to the corner, or swan a 2. Really nice, everyone. Let's go from the top of this section so far. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2. Nice. From here, your other side, the side that's down by your side, meets the other side on a 1. It circles on a 1, gently taps the other one, and you pull back with your elbows on a 4. Let's find this again together. Reaching on a 2, joining on a 1, circling on a 1, gentle tap, pulling backwards on a 4. Super nice, everyone. Let's go from the top of this section. We're nearly there, there's only one little bit to learn. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4. Nice, everyone. Bring your focus again to the front. Hands to your thighs on a 2. They float on a 1. The float increases to a 3. And then you're going to pull everything in on a 4. Nice. Let's go from the elbows pulling back on the 4. So we're here. Hands come to thighs on a 2. Floating on a 1. Increasing to a 3. From here, pulling everything in, as thick as possible, on a 4. Really nice, everyone. And that is part 2 of our sequence learn. So let's go from the top of this section together. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. Really nice, everyone. That's section 2 learn. So before we move on, let's just do that one time with the music. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 1, 4. 2, 1, 3, 4. Nice, everyone. Have a little shake. So that is part 1 and part 2 learn. So as I said for part 1, throughout when we do it all together again, if you're standing, you may again want to think about how you can transfer your weight. If you're in your chair or you're seated, you may wish to do the same, and also taking your focus away from the screen to test your movement and muscle memory. So now, everyone, what we're going to do is put section 1 and 2 together, and we're going to go a couple of times from the top. So let's do it. And 3. 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. This is now part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. Nice, everyone. So we're going to do that one more time all together, starting with part 1. And 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. Part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. Squeezing in. Again, have a little shake, everyone. Super nice. If you need to pause and have a quick practice, absolutely fine. Otherwise, what we're going to do now is we're going to go 2 times with music. The first time, I'm going to say the scales with the movements as we've been doing. And the second time, to challenge our movement and muscle memory, I'm not going to say the numbers. So just a little added extra there. Okay, let's go with music. And 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4. Nice, everyone. Quick shake. This time, we're going to keep going, but no counts from me this time. So trust our muscle and movement memory. Okay. And shakeout, everyone. Sometimes I find this is really nice after you work with lots of levels of thickness in the body. For me, I treat it almost as a reset, so you're just kind of shaking all the thickness out so you can come back again to be ready to work. So the last part of this session, we're going to have an opportunity to play and experiment with the levels on the scale for each of the movements. So you don't have to stick to the phrasing that we've just done. You can really start to play around with it. So I'm going to now show you an example of how I would potentially do this. So here we go. And so on. So I've allowed myself to change the level and the scale of each movement kind of just through an improvisation process. So we're going to do the sequence 2 more times, and both times you really have artistic freedom to do whatever you want with the sequence. Also, just to say that there is no right or wrong here. This is all about you experimenting and you finding the scale within your body. So I'd really like to invite you just to enjoy dancing the sequence and to have lots of fun. So, last 2 times with the music. Here we go. Nice, everyone. One last time. Same idea, you may wish to experiment, do things differently, entirely your choice. Here we go. Nice work, everyone. Super nice. Last little shakeout. Have a reset. You may want to find some of your own stretches as a way to cool down, because we've worked quite physically with our muscles today and our physicality, so make sure you take time to look after you. Just like to say thank you so much for joining me for this home practice seed. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to give us some feedback, please comment below. We love to hear what you think, and we're always looking to improve our classes. So definitely do that if you would like to tell us something about it. I'd just like to point you to a link up in the description box below of Laura's class, Bound and Free Movement. This is another really interesting take on thickness and freedom in movement. It's a really brilliant class. I've done it myself. It's fantastic, so definitely recommend and definitely check that out. All that's left to say is thank you so much again for joining me for this home practice seed, and I hope to see you soon, everyone. Take care. Thank you.